Hi everybody, welcome back to another video here on the Sam Cooks Kindness YouTube channel. I am so happy that you are here. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I want to show you my prep system. I use that term very lightly because I don't really do like the traditional prep where you like make meals, put them in packages, put them in the fridge and eat them through the week. I tend to get bored very easily, which I feel like is counterintuitive because you see how much repetition I eat in my food. So that doesn't make sense, does it? Well, I guess I just don't like leftovers. Maybe that's the way to say it. I don't really enjoy eating leftovers that much. So instead of doing prepping meals, I batch prep and I have a rolling prep system, which means that I don't sit down and prep everything all at once on a Sunday and then I'm done for the week. It means that I prep things basically as I run out of them or as I go grocery shopping. So I'm going to share a little bit about what I do every single week. I'm going to show you a few things that I do prep in advance, and we're going to chat about how to make our lives easier without having to spend hours and hours in the kitchen. Before we really dive into it, in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sam and I run the blog samcookskindness.com. I am vegan and I eat a whole food plant-based diet, and I have lost 64 pounds on this health journey that I am on, 30 of those in the last year while I've really hunkered down and I've got some health coaching, and I've really gotten into the world of calorie density, eating high volume, low calorie foods, and I have decided to share my journey with you on YouTube, and I'm so happy to have you here. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you never miss another one. I do tons of what I eat in a day videos, lots of chatty ones, and I always keep you updated on my own health journey. So yesterday I ran out of my big batch of veggie soup. So lately I have been prepping giant pots of vegetable soup, only veggies and some seasonings and broth, and I'm not following any recipes or anything. I'm just throwing tons of veggies in a pot and cooking it up and letting it simmer until everything is cooked. I've been chopping the veggies nice and small, so I have a pot of this on the stove right now. This is just the veggies. So you can see how big this pot is. It is full of vegetables. And this time I'm gonna add in some ginger for flavoring. And then I have this yandu. It's like a Japanese style broth, like concentrate. You mix it with water to make a broth, and it's really good. I use this all the time. You can get it on Amazon. I'll link it for you. But you can also buy it at your local international markets, which is where I like to buy mine. But it's just ginger and carrot and radish and salt, and it's basically like a veggie broth, but with ginger. So it's pretty tasty. I'm gonna use that in my soup for this time. And I'm gonna cover this with water. This is not gonna be enough water. I basically just cover it until the veggies are completely covered with water, and then I simmer it and let it cool. And I'm gonna use this to preload at least one meal a day. I've been trying to reduce my calorie density of my meals and reduce my overall caloric intake. So I am loading up on soups like this before my meals. So yeah, that's my prep for my vegetable soup. That should last me probably 5 to 6-ish days, maybe less if my husband decides to eat some with me, which he might. And then I'll just have to make another batch. So it's gonna simmer for a little bit and then it will be done. I'll probably add a little bit more water to this. This batch has a combination of a million different vegetables. There's cabbage, carrots, onions, celery, mushrooms, green beans. I think that's it right now. And then the ginger, obviously. I'm gonna let this come to a simmer. And this is a great way to get rid of veggies that are on their way out. The green beans had to get eaten, so I chopped them up and threw them in here. And honestly, it's a good way to get in a variety of vegetables too, because it all blends together and the flavors just meld and you hardly even notice what's really in there. So while I don't do a ton of recipe prepping, I do like to keep staples on hand, like that soup that I just showed you, or sauces and dips to keep my meals interesting through the week. So something that I have on hand at all times, literally without fail, is hummus. And to make your life easier, you can easily buy an oil-free hummus from the store if that's accessible to you. However, it's not accessible to me. And I don't mind making my own hummus because it takes basically 5 minutes. I have it down to a science. I have my favorite hummus recipe, which I've shared here before, and it's just so easy. So I finished my hummus this morning on my potatoes, so I'm gonna make another batch now. The key to an effective rolling prep is pairing things together. So when you run out of hummus, instead of just dirtying the kitchen to make the hummus, pair it with another task. Like if I'm in the kitchen making dinner, I'm also going to make this hummus to put in my fridge for later. This hummus is so creamy and delicious, and it's really good to have on hand for snacks and toppers on meals. Highly recommend. So in this session, I made this hummus and that veggie soup that I just showed you, and so my fridge is gonna be stocked and ready, and the next time I need to prep something or I run out of something in my fridge, I will just make it. So let's chat a little bit about saving time in the kitchen. I went grocery shopping yesterday and I prioritize buying things that are already ready to eat, and that means my veggies. So for example, if the store has pre-cut broccoli florets, I'm buying them. And if they don't, I'm buying crowns and I'm washing them and I'm cutting them into florets when I get home, and then I'm storing them in a bag or a container so that I can literally just reach in, grab them, and toss them into my microwave steamer to make my meals super easy. Little steps like this are gonna make your life so much easier if you can buy things already pre-chopped. If you can buy coleslaw mixes, or frozen vegetables are something that I love. I always have at least 4 bags of frozen broccoli on hand, because if I don't have anything, if I'm feeling really lazy for some reason and I don't feel like cooking, I don't have an excuse not to eat my veggies, because literally all I have to do is grab the bag out of my freezer and throw it in the microwave and I have a vegetable. So frozen veggies are your friend. Pre-chopped and pre-prepped vegetables are your friend, and that is the key way to really make sure you don't have an excuse not to eat your veggies. Okay, so I have a few different methods of potato cooking and prepping. My first is for Japanese sweet potatoes. These are the murasaki ones from Trader Joe's, which are a treat because I don't get there a lot. But Japanese sweet potatoes, and these potatoes I cook in my air fryer. I wash them, I keep them whole, I'll poke them a few times, and then I throw them in my air fryer. I have a bake setting on my air fryer, so keep that in mind if you're using this method. But I set it on bake for like 370 degrees Fahrenheit, and I put them in there for 30 minutes, and then I check them. If they aren't squishy when I squeeze them, then they go back in for another 5 to 10 minutes, and they just cook until you squeeze them. You got to do the squish test. That's how you know they're done. So if they're squishy when you squeeze them, then they're perfect. And after that, I literally just pop them in a container and put them in my fridge, and they are good hot or cold. So they are the easiest prep when you want to have potatoes on hand. That's my favorite method. Next is for my white or yellow or gold potatoes, the typical potato. And my favorite tool for this is my air fryer, but also my microwave steamer. This is the Sistema microwave steamer. It has changed my life, and I will forever love it. I use it every single day, whether it's for vegetables or potatoes, but this is one of my #1 kitchen tools that I love. And I love to use it on potatoes because it gives them that, like, I don't know, it improves the texture of them. You can put them in there and you can steam them before you put them in your air fryer, and it saves you time and it makes them extra crispy because they don't really dry out like a potato would if you just throw it right into the air fryer. I do this for my sweet potatoes, my orange sweet potatoes as well. I will chop them up into fries or cubes, and I will put them in the microwave steamer with a little bit of water, and I will microwave them usually between like 6 and 9 minutes. It depends on the potato and how I'm cutting it. And then once they're basically all the way cooked through, I just season them, throw them in my air fryer, and they are the perfect potatoes. And that is my favorite way to eat potatoes. So I don't really prep them and keep them on hand that often, because this is just so easy and convenient that it honestly ends up taking me less time to just do it this way than to keep them already pre-cooked in my fridge. Another important point that I forgot to make is that I keep a huge stash of these oil-free hash browns in my fridge, and I use these for my breakfast all the time. The only thing in them is basically potatoes and some like non-sticking agents that I don't really care too much about. They're just so convenient, and I highly recommend them if you can find them. Now, I know a lot of people like to keep potatoes prepped and on hand in the fridge, like regular ones beyond the Japanese ones that I mentioned earlier, and that's great. And sometimes I do that too. Right now, I'm not in a season of doing that, but it is something I've done in the past. And the Instant Pot is my favorite way to keep them prepped and ready. I rarely use my oven. It's my air fryer, my microwave, and my Instant Pot. So I will pre-cook them, and I have a post that I'll link below with times of how to cook a regular potatoes in the Instant Pot. So I'll link that below so you can see it, and you can cook them in your Instant Pot and pop them right in the fridge, just like those Japanese sweet potatoes, and they're always on hand. Now, as far as rice and other grains go, my system is that I don't pre-cook them. And I know a lot of people would need them pre-cooked to make it easier. I do keep them on hand. I do keep some frozen on hand to make life easier in a pinch. But one of my favorite kitchen tools is my rice cooker. I will link it below. I have had my rice cooker for over 10 years now, and it is a game changer for me. It's so easy to just rinse the rice, throw it in there, and let it do its thing. You don't even have to think about it. Sometimes I'll make extra so that I have some in my fridge, but really it's just so simple and easy that I don't feel the need to like prep it in advance, because I have tools that do the work for me. So I highly recommend a rice cooker. It's just so easy. It's just so easy for your grains. So that's how I cook my rice. And obviously pasta, I'm not really prepping in advance. I will just make that as we eat it. And that's basically my starch system. So just to break it down, I make my grains as I go using my rice cooker, and I keep some on hand frozen for when I'm in a pinch. And then I always prep my potatoes basically as I'm eating them, because I'm using my air fryer and my microwave steamer, or I am cooking up a batch of Japanese sweet potatoes for easy something to have on hand in my fridge. And that's basically my prep system. And with these, I do it on a rolling prep. So once my fridge is empty of potatoes, I just throw another batch in the air fryer, and then I put them in the fridge, and then they're ready for meals to last me for a few days. Okay, so a bonus little section I'm adding on here is our proteins. I don't do a ton of protein prep because I buy things that are easy once again. So tofu is one of my favorite proteins. I will open a package, I will cut it into 4, I will keep 3/4 of it in my fridge, and I will cook the other one. Sometimes I press it, usually I don't. I usually just chop it, season it, and put it in my air fryer, and that's just a simple way to get a boost of protein in your meals. I also keep frozen edamame on hand because, again, you can microwave it, and that's basically what I do, and it's an awesome source of protein. But the other thing that I do sometimes is I will either cook up a batch of lentils, or I will use canned beans for some protein, and that's basically it. So I don't do a rolling prep for my protein sources. I just add in easy protein like these. I hope that this gave you a little bit of insight into how I am prepping things kind of behind the scenes. When you see my what I eat in a day videos, a lot of it is just as I go. Some of it I prep in advance, and honestly, it's just about making everything as easy as you can so that your meals can be simple and fast. That's key. Let's start a conversation down below. Let me know what you do for your prep. Do you make big recipes? Do you kind of batch prep like I do? I want to know. Give me your tips so that I can absorb them and maybe incorporate them into my routine as well. I hope that what you saw today was helpful. I hope that it gave you some inspiration to try to simplify your kitchen a little bit. And I think that's basically all I have to bring you guys today. So I hope you liked this video. Please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you never miss another one. And I will see you in the next video.